There's a land just off the Atlantic, land of jungles, waterfalls, and sweet scenery, where poor people farm the lands and hunt the waters, and all live in peace and harmony. This is Guyana, beautiful Guyana. This is Guyana, beautiful Guyana. Diamond seekers go in the interior, pulling their creoles under the falls, singing sweet calypso as they heave on their way to dig up the diamond and the gold. Great kite-jaw tumbling to the river, how I love to see your foaming tide. I listen to the chirps of that cheerful 𝒄𝒐𝒑𝒚𝒓𝒊𝒈𝒄 as they throw the yellow breast to the sky. Oh, Guyana, land where I was born. Oh, sweet land, shining in the sun. I could hear the monkey chatter up in a tree, and the parrots singing this melody. Oh, Guyana, beautiful Guyana. Oh, Guyana, independent and free. Oh, Guyana, beautiful Guyana. There's a land
we come across the Caribbean Sea, mother, father picked me, and we settled down in GT. Wyoming. We've been down on the coastal plain, in the hot sun of pouring rain, planting the rice and cane. Wyoming. Yes, we take off we boots and we put on we roots. Wyoming. So the crab was that grow and the 𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒐 is we own. And the 6 o'clock bee and the 𝒑𝒑𝒊𝒑𝒂𝒊𝒑 is we own. And the lava that run from go by your gun is we own. And them all of a post on the quarantine coast is we own. Wondering crab is we own. True leafing nab is we own. Umanayana is we own. Fried Corilla is we own. Arapaima is we own. Umanayana is we own. our weather pleasance. We do pagua and confidence, and we know how to wine and prance. Why oh? And we celebrate Diwali, and then time for matrimony. It's party, party, party. Why oh? Yes, we know how to fat till the underwear wet. Why oh? So the crap out that grown, the 𝒐𝒊𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒄 is we own. And the 6 o'clock B and the 𝒑𝒊𝒂𝒊𝒑 is we own. And the lover that run from go buy your gun is we own. And them 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒄 post down the quarantine coast is we own. Wondering crab is we own. Truly Benab is we own. Umanayana is we own. Courdel is we own. 𝒐𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒄 is we own. Umanayana is we own. Chip, sugar, cake, and saltfish and bake is we own. Katahar curry and 𝒄𝒐𝒑𝒚𝒓𝒊𝒈 is we own. Marby and ice, black eyed peas and rice is we own. Coconut metagy and wiri is we own. Babula and lichan with the cutter in the hand is we own. And the tiger lily and the blue dashiki is we own. And Frankie Manise with the boom boom cheese is we own. And the lion town in Leaf Funky Fong is we own. And the fellas in the tree seeing cricket for free is we own. And the brother in the night preaching Jordanite is we own. And Mary fall upon the seawall is we own. And the girl foot fine but Lord she behind is we own. So the crap out that grow in the 𝒐𝒊𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒄 is we own. And the 6 o'clock B and the 𝒑𝒊𝒂𝒊𝒑 is we own. And the lover that run from go buy your gun is we own. And them 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒄 post on the quarantine coast is we own. Wondering crab is we own. Truly Benab is we own. Umanayana is we own. Courdel is we own. 𝒐𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒄 is we own. Umanayana is we own.
Caution them.
AG.
Make it an anthem. Land of Guyana, of rivers and plains. I'm a real Guyanese. From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave. I'm a real Guyanese. From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green. I'm a real Guyanese. And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me. I'm a real Guyanese. I live in a foreign country. So nothing can change me. 6 races, beautiful faces. Put your hand them in the air if you're not racist. I pledge myself to honor always. I will never disgrace this. Them want peace and we map. Wait your mothers, we not get you that. No, not one caress. Not a blade of grass. Listen up, 83,000 square miles. Oh my God, we find aisle. Me not tell you no lie. Guyana nice, but me fear for my life. Land of many waters, bring out all the leaders in the son them and the daughters. If you want to we fall, no, not at all. I'm a real Guyanese. From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave. I'm a real Guyanese. From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green. I'm a real Guyanese. And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me. I'm a real Guyanese. I live in a foreign country. So nothing nothing can change me. Big up stop Brooks, I'll it tough crook. It now is pretty son about that try act shook. God big up GRM, me know I'm a tax look. And when me have the money, me can go for my bank book. Beautiful Guyana, we there in South America. Land of kite, the flora and the fauna. Independent people, so we doing what we wanna. Never violate because you could become a Ghana. Them love we country, all the foreigners, them children salute you. In the Indian temple, love we border, we no want no problem. Never fall, we forever standing. Me love how God make you, we never forsake you. Unique in every way, God I never mistake you. If Guyana was a girl, they surely would date you. That's why they want take you. I'm a real guy unique. From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave. I'm a real guy unique. From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green. I'm a real guy unique. And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me. I'm a real guy unique. I live in a foreign country. So nothing can change me.
Da da da. A-O-M-A.
And call you guys.
You ready? A country with an island vibe. I swear I had an eyes. And yeah, we just down all night. Mixing the 5-year beats with eyes. So Tony got the whole place hype. And we celebrating life. Coffee in the morning, so we toast it. Say we just fine aisle, but it boasting. No, we ain't boasting. No. Oh no. I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. U-I-N-A. Oh no. Welcome to Moko. Every country want friendship, like the village on the East Bank. But you can't hang if you ain't young. For my first interview, I tell police thanks. And I brought the bag, my passport and got a stamp. You can't answer abroad if you can't answer yard. We gon' catch it when it's good, cause we say when it's hard. Not for them, live in country and people don't spend it long. Them man of them is fraud, not for them sell the land. To pay rent on another land. When Guyana got a lot of land, but they blame the government. But this nation got God cover us. Blessing on everyone, listen brother man. Put 2 and 2 together, don't listen to
the one. Good morning, and welcome down to Livewire. Good morning to all the persons tuned in already on the live. Thank you guys for being here up early, although I know some of you may have other things you need to do, work, getting kids ready. Nevertheless, you're here, whether you're just listening or like Pam listening from her garden in the morning. I thank you for taking the time to be here with me this morning. Now, just going through the comments. A special good morning to Miss Eunice Ragabeer. First person here is 652. Good morning to you, Eunice. And I would say my voice is a little better. I'm still a bit hoarse, but you know, it's getting there. Taris O'Brien, good morning to you. Chris Wellington, a shout out to Mr. Chris Wellington, a Guyanese in the US, currently serving in the, I don't know if it's the Army, the Navy, or the Air Force, but I know he's part of the military forces over there, serving, and a distinguished Guyanese. He's over there now doing his thing. Gil Eon, morning to you. Gloria Manuar, Lash P, Sally Jones, Jamila, morning to all you guys. Chitra Sokraj, Raji Maraj, Data, Lola Hari, Shakila, morning. And of course, we can't forget Mr. Omar Sharif joining us all the way from New York City. And he's letting us know it's a rainy day up here, right? Keith Benjamin, good morning to you, brother. Thank you for joining the live this morning. Quite a few things to discuss. I hope persons had a enjoyable Humanabi yesterday. I hope you guys had a wonderful day yesterday. And however you would have commemorated that holiday. Toshiram Chedi, morning to you, brother. Yes, so persons I should have announced on Wednesday. Now, on national holidays, we don't have a program. So if it's a national holiday during the week, no program. So my bad for all the persons who were looking out for the program yesterday and, you know, were a bit disappointed. But we will make up for it today. Got a lot of things to discuss, right? I hope my voice holds so we can get through somebody the things we need to deal with here, right? First of all, I wanted to share a video with you guys, an incident happening in Stanley Town, New Amsterdam, Berbice, where a driver actually drive away with the policeman on the bonnet. Is what wrong with we Guyanese? What we doing? Oh my goodness. This is not funny. This is dangerous and it could have ended badly. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. The driver is arrested. But just to give you all a look, see some of the craziness that happening in this place. I don't know if it's the heat or what, but something going on. So you see it for yourself. I ain't lying to you. The driver drove away with the policeman. The driver drove away with the policeman. Look. Anyway, so Prince Sinclair, a 36-year-old resident of Stanley Town, New Amsterdam, Berbice, was arrested following an incident where he drove into and injured police constable Daniel Fredericks, who was on patrol duty with a motorcycle. Sinclair is expected to appear in court and face charges related to the incident, right? The incident began when Constable Fredericks observed Sinclair's parked car obstructing traffic within 30 feet of the Shoe Lane Street and Main Street. This is in New Amsterdam. This violation prompted the officer to contact Sinclair and inform him of the offense. Sinclair's reaction to the officer's warning escalated into a verbal altercation where he used a series of expletives against Constable Fredericks. In a shocking turn of events, Sinclair got into his vehicle and drove towards Constable Fredericks and collided with the officer's right foot. As a result of the collision, Fredericks ended up on top of the car's bonnet. This is Sinclair's bonnet. Sinclair did not stop after colliding with the officer, but instead continued to drive along Main Street into Republic Road. And again, this is in New Amsterdam. Constable Fredericks was taken to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital for medical attention. Doctors examined and treated him for his injuries before he was discharged, right? So I'm happy at least the police have this driver in custody and they'll be dealing with this. I mean, these kinds of things we cannot condone. We cannot condone. And I mean, it might sound funny, but it's very serious. People, you gotta listen to the police. Y'all gotta listen to the police. Plain and simple. You have to listen to the police. Despite how you feel about what the police tell you, whether you think you're wrong or right, whether you're a liar or not, you have to listen to the police, right? Comply and then complain. There's always redress, right? Whatever charge they put on you, you have an opportunity to fight it in court. Do not drive into the police and drive it with them on the bonnet. The last person I see on a bonnet, it was a very, very sticky, sketchy situation. But we ain't gonna get into that, right? So that's some stuff coming out of New Amsterdam there, and I hope the police take form and at least have good representation in court so that this doesn't fly under the radar. We need to make some people an example because I think that is overboard. At the end of the day, the police are the persons on the streets looking after the safety of persons, enforcing the traffic rules and regulations. So again, I am encouraging road users here in Guyana and Guyanese in the diaspora. Listen to the persons in authority in relation to the police while you're performing your duties and giving you lawful orders. You understand? Comply, 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 comply. Tulsi Ram, I commented Darren Wade. I got a whole segment for these guys because people in Washington doing the self. People in Washington doing the self. But let's move on. Let's move on. So I hope the officer makes a quick and full recovery in relation to whatever damages he might have received. And to the driver, when you get your punishment, take your licks like a man, come back into society, whatever punishment they deem necessary, and just try to be smart. Don't drive into the police. Don't drive into the police, right? So try to be smarter in the future. Before I get to Washington, the vice president was in Linden. And I have some 𝒂𝒑𝒂𝒚𝒓𝒊𝒈𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒂😅, right? The vice president was in Linden on an outreach. And I like to show the duplicity and the hypocritical nature of persons in the opposition. And I'm not putting this over as a point of or me attacking the opposition, but I just want to show persons that there are people on that side who make certain representations. They make certain statements about Afro-Guyanese being disenfranchised and Afro-Guyanese not having an opportunity, and friends, family, and favorites. And what else is usually said? Only persons who are affiliated to the government of the day are able to get contracts and grants and loans and all these sorts of things. Now, y'all know Pastor London or Bishop London or whatever is, whichever denomination he's ordained in. Because you know these holy men sometimes just pop up out of nowhere, and you have no idea where to do the Bible school. But I don't care. My point is, this guy Bishop London, who claims he's not on any side, but clearly from his actions and the platforms that we see him on, it's clearly he supports the PNC, Niger London, right? So I want to show you some photos. So the vice president was in Region 10, and there were some cash grants that were disbursed. So look at this guy here, this first guy here with the green around here, right? Now this guy here is Charles Sampson from Linden, one of the avid followers of Mr. Niger London. I ain't gonna call you a bishop. I don't go to your church. I don't recognize you as a bishop or a holy man. You're a political person, and I can call you Niger London, right? So this here is Charles Sampson. In the line here, an Afro-Guyanese from Linden, a PNC supporter from Linden, in the line here to collect his cash grant, right? These are the same people from Linden who are claiming that the government is only looking out for persons who voted for them. They're not doing holistic development in the community. Persons affiliated with other political parties are not able to have opportunities and that sort of nonsense. But here we have Mr. Sampson here in the line to collect his grant, right? Let me show you another one. Now this lady here, whilst I don't have her name, this lady here, she has her business is the building just before the PNC head office there in Linden, by the boat front. The boat front there is crossed to go over to Wismar or Mackenzie, whichever side, right? This same lady here abuse, verbally assault persons during the LGE for doing political work and informing persons on how their candidates would want to work to make Linden better. You understand me? This person here was the person who chased People's Progressive Party activists, and whilst they're doing whistle stops in the area, saying that they can't stop in front of her place. No, she's here. Let me show you. She's here, sitting here, waiting to collect her cash grant, to either invest in her business or to do a little work on her house or something. And I like to show y'all the nature of these people. The nature of these people. You understand? That is why I call them what I call them earlier. 𝒂𝒊𝒒𝒂𝒂𝒠𝒂𝒂𝒠😅. 𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒠😅. You understand? Look at this lady. And, you know, in another 2 days or another 2 weeks, they got a protest in Linden. I am absolutely sure these two people going to come out and holiday and get nothing ain't happening in Linden. They got no progress going on. Everything terrible. They didn't like the cricket pitch. They didn't like the football pitch. They didn't want no road from Linden to Mabura. They didn't want no 4-lane bridge over to cross Wisdom to Mackenzie. They didn't want no more new housing scheme. They didn't like the labor office in Linden. They didn't like all the new roads that happening in Linden. They didn't like the part-time jobs so those persons who are unemployed. They didn't like the fact that the call center reopened so persons could be employed. Right? Those persons like this here are going to come out and say those same things again. So Charles, we see you. Madam, we see you. And we're happy that you're able to benefit from these government initiatives. We're happy that you're able to benefit from these government initiatives. We're happy that you are currently under an administration that, despite your political affiliations, see you as Guyanese that need to benefit from the resources of Guyana. Right? I challenge Mr. Sampson and the young woman there as well to show us an instance where the opposition came to Linden and they benefited from cash grant, house lot, school voucher. What else I could think about? Increase in pension, but anything. Show me. Show me. And this is why I do this program, to highlight persons like this. Right? To highlight persons like this. Y'all remember the had a red lady. Housing somewhere. Her dream realized. She come and she hug up Minister Rodriguez, crying, "Oh God, it's long. I ain't get long. I'm waiting for this. Thank God, bless this, bless." Going on. You understand me? And 2 weeks later, she at a protest, cursing the same government she hugging and crying and praising for making sure she gets your house lot. After the 2015-2020 period, where the champions of Afro-Guyanese are in power. Right? So this is the reason I'm here. This is the reason I'm here. And people shouldn't be two-faced. And it's not that I'm saying that she's obligated to praise the government. When you look at the issue she was protesting against, foolishness. Foolishness. Right? So Bishop London, Nigel London, and his stooges in Linden there from the PNC are getting cash grants. They're benefiting from the policies and the programs of this administration, this Irfan Ali-led administration, right? They're benefiting from that. And I would love to hear Bishop London's take on this, right? I'd love to hear Aubrey Norton's take on this, German Figueroa's take on this, Devin Sears' take on this, these wastes that come from that area. Right? I'd love to hear Mr. Sharma Solomon's take on this. I'd love to hear the regional chairman's take on this. That Afro-Guyanese from the opposition, PNC people, are benefiting from PPP government policies, plans, and programs. Right? Policies, plans, and programs. So I had to touch on that, because I feel like you can't let these people slide with this nonsense. You can't let them slide with this nonsense here. You can't let them slide with it. So we're moving on. We're moving on. Now, Vishal was on silent, bro. I didn't hear you call. Call back in about 10 minutes, bro. Got some other stuff I wanted to touch on before I started taking in calls, right? So as you guys would know, we have a team, not we. There's a team representing the PNC in Washington, D.C., right? There's a team representing the PNC in Washington, D.C. Hi, morning, Vishal.
Always a pleasure tuning into your program. Very informative.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in again and again.
I was looking over the course of the weekend. I was following the supposed Washington conference Sunday, and I don't know what significance that has on there. But one would have expected to see a drove of U.S. Congress representatives, House of Representatives, right? I was expecting to see a huge turnout from the U.S. Black Caucus, right? But then I heard that the U.S. Black Caucus claimed that they had to vote in Washington, so they could not be present at the supposed conference. But when I listened to the speaker or the keynote speaker at the conference, or the conference, I should say, I was very much perplexed again, because these people talking about discrimination and marginalization and economic genocide or sabotage of Afro-Guyanese. But they have no tangible facts to substantiate the claim.
Right. I
saw a little clip on Facebook this morning where I think they went to Capitol Hill, because they mentioned that they would have, after the conference, they would have gone to Capitol Hill.
Right.
But then when they went to Capitol Hill, the representative on Capitol Hill asked them for evidence that they could not produce.
Right. You know some anger stop answering you calls early, because you release me content before me.
I didn't get you.
I say anger stop answering you calls so early. You releasing my content before already.
Remember, my brother, I love reading. It's my hobby. I like to enlighten myself. I'm a very self-taught individual. I'm not a university graduate. And I think my intuition would have played a great role, or instrumental role, in that perspective that I have. You understand? And I do not allow people to contaminate my mental faculty with self-imposed hysteria.
Yeah.
I try to equip myself with the facts. Now, early in the program you mentioned about the lady from Linden. What about the lady from Boston that I know very well, that received a hot flat, that she never had the opportunity to get under the government that's supposed to
Michelle, this the red woman talking about. This the red woman talking about. The same red.
I'm saying to you, right? I'm saying to you, if anyone should measure on a barometer the progress Afro-Guyanese, or which period Afro-Guyanese would have made significant progress, sir, the data is there to substantiate that.
Yeah.
Most of the Afro-Guyanese would have made progress under the PPPC government from 1992 to 2015.
Indeed.
How many people will go? Now, I heard they expound on something on the Washington conference. They talk about one person went to the bank to get a loan and he had a different interest rate and all of that stuff. So, when I brought this big foreign car into this country, well, this is the only car right now. I'm about to import that. But by the way, when I brought in my first car, I didn't want to use my entire savings to clear the car and everything. So I went to Republic Bank, I had like 500 and something thousand, right? They took 1 month with my documents and I did not receive a loan from them. You know where I get that loan from? I get it from Scotiabank, sir. A collateral-free loan, category C qualification.
Wow.
And I'm supposed to get a loan just like in Jiffy, because here my name is 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊 could remember when Mr. Javier in the early 2000s held a meeting with banks in Guyana.
Yeah.
As to facilitate persons who would have gotten their land and now wanted to construct their home. You could remember when the interest rate was very high, and that would have inherited, that interest rate were inherited during the period when the PMC mismanaged its country during the 70s and 80s. Could you recall that?
Yep. Yep.
And the PBTC continue to lobby with the financial or multilateral institutions in this country to facilitate loans. How many black businesses receive a chunk or a little assistance from the SLEP program? How many? Why don't they tell that to the people in Washington? They didn't tell the people in Washington that it's 500-something thousand families, and they only cater for 5,000 families during the pandemic, and only 1,000 of them received COVID grant. They didn't say that to the people in Washington.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't say that.
They tell the people in Washington that when the European University took government in 2015, they have some Afro-Guyanese rice farmers in Bordeaux, I think in the Barry Myconi area. When they took away those lands from the people, could you recall that? Mr. Nandala had to defend those people.
I do.
Where was Darren Wade? He was one of the speakers. Where he was. Where he was when Mr. Hyde run the people after Fireland in 1990.
Stammering somewhere in high school, probably.
Right? Where they were. And another thing I want to enlighten, I would like to highlight, right? It is very much, Desmond is really causing my mind. As one of these people come from Orange, or they come from another planet, in another universe. They can't come from this universe because I heard them spoke about there's a Nigerian woman who endorsed Mr. A. when he went on the program, the morning show program, the British television program. The lady said, she just imagine Irfan Ali was the president of Nigeria. Sir, is not I saying this.
Yeah.
This is not my own making. This is somebody from another continent.
African country at that.
You understand me? And he'll be hard work where she's from Nigeria. Africa's largest economy.
Yeah. All right, Vishal. Thanks for coming through, my brother.
I want Apple or Slap, whoever it be, to enlighten themselves with facts before they go and talk crap. You know, these people look, they look like the slave going to see the master. They can't solve it home, so they're going to the master.
Thanks for coming through. Right, so salient points from Vishal there. Always on top of things. Right, so let's get to Washington, D.C. There's a lot of stuff happening over there. Right, so first of all, before I get into the details, I just want to share with you this power squad that was sent by the opposition to Washington, D.C. Right, look at the team. Nima the flu who couldn't be best. This MP who got listen, this guy, I don't even remember his name. It would be your left or your right. I don't even remember his name. Insignificant. Right? Then we have the notorious fighter, Mr. Manza. We got the Belange bars there. Right? You got the GS who get locked out of the party place. You got $2 million per outreach catty. You got Father Abraham there on her right with his many sons. And then Risedale. You really got no issue with Risedale. You understand? But look at the team. Look at the team. Nima Flubes who attacking Afro-Guyanese in Moko. This insignificant worries here. You understand me? You got the husband beater Manzo. Insignificant again, nothing. And Amanzo was one of the persons who came out and protest Minister Darren Lal. Again, Amanzo, be waiting for you to come out in relation to Mr. Daniel Siram's wife. You understand? And these are the people who are going to play their representing Guyanese overseas in the US. Nobody want to see you. Mr. Mahi Paul and his love for vegetables is known. You understand? Right? It is known. His love for vegetables and some sections of the joint services is known. So these are the people who are coming to play the representing Guyanese overseas jokers. We're coming down to the GS here, who ain't even got enough clout to get in her own compound as the general secretary of the party. Right? As the general secretary of the party, he have no clout to get in her own compound. These are the representatives. You have the person who was writing checks to her own company, and they're talking about corruption and whatnot and whatnot. $2 million every time she going on an outreach for what? To do what? And these are the persons who talking about corruption and marginalization and discrimination and set of foolishness. Huh? Then we come to Father Abraham and his many sons. Is that the SOPs Aubrey Norton have in his hand there for people to see? Father Abraham? Are those the SOPs you're holding in your hand that you take overseas there to show the Black Caucus, to show the diaspora that y'all actually won the elections? Are those the SOPs? And then finally we got Mr. Rice there. And you know, he does defend anything. Right? He does defend anything. He does defend anything. He don't business. He don't be anything he defended. Elections, fraud, whatever it is. But this is the opposition dream team. This is the opposition dream team that went to Washington to represent Guyanese, that voted for them. You understand? Now let me share this with you. And mind you, this is coming from Demerara Waves, right? But United States officials on Capitol Hill have asked a Guyanese opposition delegation for statistics showing alleged discrimination against Afro-Guyanese by the incumbent People's Progressive Party, Civic. Opposition politicians said at the conference in Washington, D.C. on Guyana's political and economic conditions, right? So they actually go to these people conference. These worries here went to these people conference to make representation on behalf of Afro-Guyanese, right? And in work with no evidence, stats, nothing, a graph, a line chart, a bar graph, nothing, just their word. And a tainted word at that. Right? So these US officials have requested statistics and empirical data from the Guyanese opposition, the PNC, regarding alleged discrimination against Afro-Guyanese by the incumbent People's Progressive Party, 𝒐𝒊𝒔𝒄. Right? So they're here with no concrete evidence. No concrete evidence which would validate the claims of discrimination. None whatsoever. Now, these PNC operatives who are over there have expressed concern about the lack of resources for conducting research and collecting data. Right? But I am saying, I am skeptical of this. I am skeptical of the opposition's claim, because why are they not allocating resources themselves to gather the necessary data? Aubrey Norton spoke about hiring an international PR firm and doing this and that. They're asking the diaspora to donate money because they don't want to collect from big business. What about the person who was paid all the money for the skills that helped with their elections analysis? Why don't they pay them to do a study? Why between 2015 to 2020, the coalition government didn't bring in some bipartisan international organization to conduct a study on how Afro-Guyanese were marginalized from 1992 to 2015? You understand? Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they invest in that? Now you telling people you got resources and that nonsense. Special good morning to my good friend 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒎. Glad to see you on the live, brother. I hope you had a good night at work there. And catch your rest. You gotta get back up there. You gotta get back out there in the morning. Or tonight, I should say. Right? Why they didn't invest in these kinds of things to highlight what they were claiming when they were in power, they had the government powers? So, no empirical data. The opposition claimed they got resources to do this kind of research. Y'all find resources. Probably if they didn't have so many blank checks coming out to the PNC, you'd have some money to invest in research to prove the points that you are unable to prove. And it would have been a waste of money because the research would have come back showing that that is not the case. Right? The opposition's efforts to gather data and lobby the US government for support based on what we're seeing here is clearly politically motivated. Right? So they don't have a genuine interest in Afro-Guyanese and seeing Afro-Guyanese move forward, or I should say Guyanese in general, because all the time you're hearing is Afro, 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 Afro. You don't think they're Amerindian persons who think they might feel like if they are being marginalized or discriminated against? Why are you not looking into their interests? You don't think they're Indo-Guyanese who may feel they're being marginalized and discriminated against? Don't you think they're local Portuguese or European Guyanese who feel they're marginalized and discriminated against? What about mixed race people? What about Guyanese Chinese? Why not look into the interests of everyone? Right? So in my view, these actions by the opposition to lobby the US government are politically motivated. And some may view these actions as well as an attempt to undermine the PVPC government. So it causes you to question the opposition's true intentions here. So it's not a case of they genuinely having an issue with the development of Afro-Guyanese or Guyanese, but it's a case where, hey, I don't like this political party because they're not with us. So anything they do, we will deem it as wrong or discriminatory without any evidence. Right? Now, Some critics may find fault with the opposition for engaging in meetings with US officials while elected officials were dealing with the possibility of a government shutdown. They might argue that this indicates a lack of prioritization of national interest. Now, opposition leader Aubrey Norton's emphasis on human development over infrastructure could be a point of contention, right? Now, let's look at it this way. There's a claim that there's not enough investment in Guyana's human resources. But on what grounds? We see just the other day, we had students performing amazingly at the Caribbean Examination Council's exams. Got Trinidadians running crazy. Jamaicans want to know is what Guyanese eating, Guyanese students eating, how the brain so big, right? You see Minister Manik Chan and her ministry putting forward initiatives to make it as easy as possible for parents to have their children in school every day and benefit from an education. So you got school feeding program, you got Because We Care, you got school uniform voucher, you got the textbook program, you got learning channel, you got Edu FM. The people just launch an app so that persons could, do the thing online. You have BIT, you got WIN, you got the apprenticeship program that was recently restarted under this administration. You have Gold, which I thought I heard the other day already surpassed the target of 20,000 scholarships. And not at as one cost sometimes, and not at a stupid, nonsensical, no merit, unrecognized public service college, Bertram Collins, that nonsense that had there at Ogle, right? It's nothing like that. The Gold program, internationally recognized universities. Internationally recognized universities, right? Internationally recognized universities already surpassed the target. So how could these people say that there's more emphasis on infrastructure development over human development? We have more females right now in the industrial sectors, oil and gas, mining, agriculture, and that kind of thing, as operators. Not buyer, not cleaner, not secretary, operators. So them big fancy work, take the back. So these technical jobs that in the past were men dominated, and men would come out of the bush and say, hey, boy, excavator, operator, work nice, boy, you get a nice bread. Women doing that now. Women are doing that now, and you think I'm lying, go to the Facebook page. Just last week, a week before, several persons, young, some Afro, some Indo, some Amerindian, Guyanese, who are trained in heavy-duty equipment operators course. Now they are enhanced to go into the workforce, oil and gas, mining, agriculture, construction. They have their options. Y'all check the stats of that 2015 to 2020. How many young Afro-Guyanese heavy-duty equipment operators were able to pass through the BIT program? You understand? We're even looking at successfully being employed, just to pass through the program and receive a certification that they have advanced themselves. They're now skilled persons. So I'm challenging Darren Wade to find those figures and bring them to us. right? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Courdel.
Morning.
I see they had 8 jokers got to the Washington White House.
Yeah.
Why they didn't take the money and try to feed some kind of people on the road or call somebody the money, but they make them for passage and feed some kind of people on the road or poor people or something. They're wasting the money.
You're right. It would have had more impact. It would have had more impact. You're right. You're very right.
Yeah. Stupidness.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, boss.
Thanks, buddy. Right. So he's actually correct. And I'm not finished with this Washington thing, you know. I'm not finished with this Washington thing. I want to show y'all, right? Now, outside of the caucus meeting that they wanted to have and all this other stuff, Rickford Burke started using the same American government that he's saying, hey, start using them. We can get into that. Then I want to show y'all the population of the conference. Who was there? The diversity and ethnicity in relation to youth and grown folks, the balance. But we can get into that. Right? Now, we're still talking about, let me see, the hate, I can call him the hateful eight that went to Washington. The hateful eight, just in case y'all didn't know who we're talking about, let's put them up here. Right? Hateful eight, that's what we're calling them, who vex lose. Right? So, now, as y'all would remember, the IMF recently praised the government of Guyana's management of the economy, right? So it's like those not supporting the opposition, may see this as a sign of the current government, that the current government is not on the right track economically. So despite what international organizations say, right? They're expecting persons to run with the facts of somebody like Elson Lowe. Full retard. Not literally, but his opinions and his arguments, fully retarded. Right? Now the opposition promises to improve cooperation with the US in foreign policy, might be met with skepticism, right? Now, critics may argue that, and I mean Guyanese critics, just people in general, critics may argue that such promises are vague and lack concrete plans for achieving cooperation. Y'all remember these are the same people who were chasing the ABC countries out of Guyana at the election? These are the same persons who are saying, don't get involved in Guyana politics. Y'all in Guyanese and all kind of foolishness. Now they're running here to holler about cooperation and, oh my God. Look. These people is trouble. Right? Now, in relation to voter verification biometrics, while the opposition is advocating for a clean voter list and the use of biometrics at polling stations, persons may question the necessity and the potential drawbacks of these measures, such as potentially having voters disenfranchised. Good morning, caller.
The Congresswoman, Maxine Waters, hear what Maxine Waters tell them? She told them to bring evidence that Guyana have discrimination. She told them to bring evidence, and she's the big wit for the Congresswoman. She's there since 1991.
Right.
You got to these people. I don't know what kind of people they are. They should get some. I tell you, they should get some young people for this opposition. Young people. All right, thanks.
Thanks, buddy. Right. So you heard the caller. And I like it when persons are following these things on the international scene. Persons are aware. So the people, the congresswoman would have said to bring your evidence of this. This is not Guyana where y'all can go at a rally somewhere and spew lies and you got about 20% of the persons out there believing it holistically without questioning anything. It's not going to happen. So in relation to the voter verification biometrics, this matter has been dealt with time and again by various government officials, General Secretary of the party, everybody talk on this issue. And we were reminded of the period where they had the voters' ID card, where all the political parties agreed and signed on to it. And then after the elections, PNC go to court and had the elections annulled because of forcing persons to vote with the ID card. So the General Secretary and the Vice President has indicated that there's no issue with the use of biometrics, but it must not disenfranchise anyone. And they don't want a similar case where you agree to something with the opposition, and then in the next breath, they take it to court, saying it was illegal and unconstitutional when they signed on to it. Right? Now, this is just a little synopsis of what went down with that meeting. Right? And I wanted to touch now on a statement coming out from the Office of the Prime Minister in response to claims made by the political opposition over there. Right? Now, let me put this in context for you. Guyana is a diverse political landscape with multiple parties representing various interests. The People's Progressive Party is currently in government, and the APNU-AFC in opposition. And it seems like the word opposition, that's the only thing that they are holding on to. They are opposing everything. The opposition, APNU-AFC, has presented a petition in support of the Washington Diaspora Conference, making several claims about government's actions and policies. Now, the One Guyana policy. The government has been promoting its One Guyana policy, which aims to foster inclusivity, unity, and equal opportunity for all Guyanese citizens, regardless of their ethnic background. Now, my contention is, what is the issue with that? What is the issue with that? What is the issue with the One Guyana policy? Inclusivity, unity, and equal opportunity for all Guyanese. Right? Now let's get into the statement from OPM. So the government has categorically rejects the claims made by the opposition in their petition. They consider it an attempt to undermine their commitment to the betterment of Guyana. And like I said earlier, whether it's in the benefit of Guyanese or not, they don't care. Once it's not coming from their quarter, it don't make sense, right? And in most cases, they don't have a better idea to replace whatever they're rejecting, right? The government criticizes the opposition's actions as unpatriotic, suggesting that they are not acting in the best interest of the country. The government, the statement from OPM accuses the opposition of presenting a one-sided perspective in the petition, implying that it does not accurately represent the actions and the policies of the PPPC government. The statement emphasizes the importance of upholding democratic principles and constructive public discourse, both locally and internationally. The PPPC government highlights its One Guyana policy as evidence of its commitment to inclusivity and engagement with all ethnic groups of Guyana. Right? What we had close to the One Guyana policy from the opposition, what we could contrast the One Guyana policy to when we think about the opposition. Their good life policy, when you weigh it, their good life policy against the One Guyana policy, in your view, which one is more effective? The good life policy implemented from 2015 to 2020. How many persons did it really impact? Right? Now let's look at the One Guyana policy. Let's look at it. Oh God, Paul calling. I'm ready for you this morning, Paul. Let me go, Paul. I'm ready for you this morning. Good morning to you, sir. Uh-huh.
Did you watch the conference?
Paul, you call me to ask me craziness.
I'll just ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead. Yes. Continue. Yes.
Did you watch the conference?
Yes.
The whole thing.
Paul, please get to the point. You're asking me the same question twice. Yes, I watched the conference.
All right. No, everything. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can continue speaking now. I just said, I mean, you watch it two different things, so it's okay. It's okay. You continue talking this morning.
Okay, great.
Okay. I didn't get interrupted with you.
All right, good. Thank you for coming
all
to
right.
me. You see what's telling you all about Paul? You see? So the other morning, I was talking about Congressman Akeem Jeffries' comments on the meeting between himself and the government of Guyana. Paul called me to ask me if I read the congressman's comments on the meeting on his page. That's the kind of stuff, Captain Obvious. But anyway, I thought Paul had some kind of salient points for us to debate here this morning in relation to that. Now, he's coming and he's throwing me off, man. I think. Anyway, so continuing. So the good life policy and the One Guyana policy, we've seen the impact it has had on society, Guyanese society, right? We've seen the difference. Now, in relation to the statement, the government claims that it has extended invitations for dialogue and cooperation to the opposition on numerous occasions, which they have declined. This is evident, right? Now, let's look at the decade for people of African descent. The government is disputing the petition's claim that they have not submitted any report to the United Nations regarding progress on actions for people of African descent. They highlighted various initiatives and investments aimed at empowering African Guyanese. Just the other day, I think it was Minister Ejil was attended a conference or a symposium where Afro-Guyanese business owners in Guyana were taken through the paces so that they were better able to bid and secure government contracts. I'm challenging Paul to give me one instance where the Afro-Guyanese centered government, as they claim, the PNC, APNU, AFC, would have had an initiative of this nature to sensitize Afro-Guyanese business owners, not the big wigs, but young, new Afro-Guyanese entrepreneurs on how they can get into the bidding process for these contracts and actually win and secure bids for these contracts, right? It's this administration that has done that. This one, right? The government asserts that that Afro-Guyanese hold significant constitutional, governmental, and civil society offices in the country, including parliamentary, judicial, and ministerial positions, right? So for a government who doesn't like Afro-Guyanese, the Home Affairs Minister, Tourism Minister, the Labor Minister, the Substantive Public Service Minister, which is the biggest portfolio in this country, the International Affairs Minister, who else by? Minister within the office of the Prime Minister himself, right? So this discrimination that they're talking about, people are still looking to see what is going on. And even if you look at the composition of the city council, PNC to PPP, on the PPP side, you see diversity. You see a representation of Guyanese. So you got Indo-Guyanese, you got Afro-Guyanese, you got Portuguese. Is there a Amerindian person there? I think so. There's a mixed person there, mixed with Amerindian. So you see that. But when you look over on the other side, there's one thing you see and one thing only. And one thing only, right? So that's some information from the Prime Ministerial, the statement coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister in relation to this misrepresentation that happened in Washington with these people. Now, my final point before I close off here this morning that I want to share with you, right? Let's jump to the conference. Let's jump to the conference. Now, look at this. Look at this. This is Aubrey Norton speaking at the conference. I think 𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎 conference. Look, we got Darrell Wade. We got the former head for the EPA. This is just the team walking through. Hateful Eight. That's why I call them. Look. Look. Right? So the front row, entirely MPs from Guyana. If you look behind the insignificant MP who we don't know his name, who's sitting next to Manzo, you see it's like about 1 or 2 rows behind there. You see the amount of persons that went to this thing? Right? Look. Elson Lowe, the Warriors, the Fly In. Look. And mind you, on the PNC page, there are 7 photos of this entire conference that they went to. Right? 7 photos. Look, the PR girl that's going to get replaced by the international PR firm because she ain't doing a good job for the PNC and they ain't want her there anymore. So Chris and her PR is not in your portfolio anymore. Pretty soon, y'all going to get kicked to the curb. So that's her in the background there. So they fly the PR person out there as well. And this is the last photo of the Hateful Eight again. So it's mostly photos of them. You understand? And the few people that went to this conference. Now, what my point is, look at the diversity in these photos, right? Now, this is a conference on Guyana and making Guyana better and whatever. Looking, this conference is on Guyana. Is this a representation of the Guyanese population? Look, this indigenous guy is probably only, well, other than Miss Hastings, 2 only indigenous people here. That's the only 2 indigenous people in the diaspora that interested in Guyanese. Where's the representation from the other? And I'm not counting the Indian MP who they fly out and Ganesh Mahipal who they fly out. And if you remember, this is the MP when this girl, Letitia Wright, was in Guyana. Opposition forever. Y'all remember he was the opposition forever. He's right. Right? So opposition forever and the 𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒆 boss are the only 2 Indo-Guyanese you see at this event. Right? So you look at the diversity. You could safely say Elson Lowe is the youngest person at this event. So these are the persons who will be leading the charge in the future, the next 10, 15, 20 years in Guyana. Where's the youth representation? Well, we definitely know Darren Wade in one good suit. It's the same suit. You're seeing the stain not to recognize it by. Darren Wade is what going to be the next presidential candidate to the PNC. I highly doubt it. So you see, no representation from the other ethnicities that make up the Guyanese population in the diaspora. You understand? And in normal fashion is the PNC, when you can't get your way, abuse the same people that you're going to beg and lie to for help. So this is Rickford Burke's response because persons are not taking what they're saying at face value. You're saying, hey, bring evidence, or make it right. Give us something to work with. Show us what you're talking about. Give us an example. Listen to your boy 𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎. Before we go.
I'm raising these issues because those of us who live in the diaspora here, just like I raised with the State Department yesterday, one of the things that we will do is really ask for an accountability from the State Department and the others, why they can respond to a despotic regime who's paying lobbyists to tell them lies, and they're not responding to the American people.
You hear this idiot? 𝒓𝒐𝒂𝒊𝒕 want the State Department. So for the Guyanese looking who will understand, the State Department is like our Ministry of International Affairs. So if the Guyana government dealing with anything with another country or something of that sort, is go through this agency, right?
Wow.
Caller, good morning.
Courdel.
Hi.
This is not the man who Guyana a lot of money for the skills. This is the same man.
No, Patterson gave the contract to the guy who helped them with the elections. Not Rickford Board. No.
Because Rickford wanted in Guyana, you know?
Yes, we do. Yeah, for extortion. Yes. He tried to extort a businessman.
All right.
Yeah. Right. So that you hear this idiot Rickford Board? You hear this idiot Rickford Board? The State Department, which is like our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, why are they meeting with the government of Guyana? Are you an idiot, Rickford Board? It's the government of Guyana. It's the government of Guyana. How you understand why they're meeting with the government, the president and the government of Guyana? Now you are claiming the State Department is despondent to you as an American citizen. You give up your rights to Guyana, brother. You hear? You ain't even saying they are not responding to you as an American citizen with Guyanese roots. They ain't responding to you as an American. You involving yourself in Guyanese matters. And want the State Department to side with the opposition when you are providing no evidence of your claims, nothing to back up what your statements that you're making. Several international organizations saying, hey, Guyana's on the right path, things are looking up. Why weren't these organizations speaking out like this 2015 to 2020, Ricky? Tricky Ricky. Huh? Let me finish looking at the clip.
I'm raising these issues because those of us who live in the diaspora here, just like I raised with the State Department yesterday, one of the things that we will do is really ask for an accountability from the State Department and the others, why they can respond to a despotic regime who's paying lobbyists to tell them lies, and they're not responding to the American people. And the Biden-Harris administration will have to explain to us in the swing states why they are responding to a government who actively campaigned against President Biden. The PPP government actively interfered in the politics, campaigned against President Biden, told their supporters to vote for Trump. And now we have bureaucrats in the State Department who are backing them, in bed with them.
So I don't know what you're talking about, the government campaigning for Trump. Look, Paul argument for the attendance. This is Paul argument in relation to attendance at the you should have rented a bigger space, Paul. You should have taken some of the money that you buy them steaks with and send it to Ricky so that he could have rented a bigger space and hold more people. That is what you should have done, Paul. That is what you should have done. So apparently the PvP were telling their supporters to vote for Trump. Where's the evidence of this, Ricky? Is this more trickery? Is this more trickery, Ricky? Right? This is the nonsense. When they don't get their way, they go on an attack. Now they're gonna have to tell us in the swing states. So he threatening now the government of the United States. He's threatening the government of the United States that if they don't do what they want in relation to matters they think are important and critical in Guyana, without providing any evidence of those matters, Biden them looking thin at the next election. Ricky, without your vote, that administration will continue. No, Paul, I'm not taking your call again. You're going to annoy me this morning. So I'm not taking your call. You can hang up, Paul. Right? So that is one of the clips I wanted to share. Now, let's look at this last one here before I go. We're running out of time.
I noticed Assistant Secretary of State, Brian Nichols, lie to Enrico Wilford. Lie. He's part of the Biden administration that this government campaigned against. And he's lying for the PPP government. He told Enrico Wilford that he received no request for a meeting and was not aware that the opposition was in town. He wrote me, Brian Nichols wrote me, explaining to me that he and the Secretary of State are traveling this week. And they are. Yet he told Enrico Wilford he was not aware, and he did not increase the request. Something is rotten in the State Department. And the policy of the State Department of only meeting with government officials is wrong. And we will force them to change it. We will not stop, This next forum is going to go straight to the White House. This next forum is going to go straight to the White House. And like I said before, this is America where we have freedom of speech. And we don't care who has what title behind them. The fact of the matter is that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the ones that have to face the voters, not Brian Nichols.
That's your boy Ricky, Tricky Ricky. Tricky Ricky. Tricky Ricky. No, here. If this is the case, Ricky, and you claim this man write you or whatever, will you let it there? Will you let it there? The Enrico interview happened minutes before you go to the podium. You're living in America, everybody got fancy phone printer you could have send the flapping letter and print it out to say, hey, this is my evidence. I wrote this guy telling this guy the team was here, and this was his response. The long and short of it, Ricky, them man ain't got time for stubbornness, buddy. Them man ain't got time for stubbornness. Them man ain't got time for nonsense. So please remember that these are, and remember what Secretary of State Blinken said, Ricky, the opposition needs to engage in constructive conversation. Translated to Guyanese terms, stop coming around telling people stubbornness. People don't want to hear stubbornness. People don't want to hear stubbornness. So please. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So y'all see what the conference was like. Y'all see the attendance. You see the mix of Guyanese there in terms of ethnicity. Y'all even see they had a caller ask Carl just not to find out if Burke was the scale man. No, the scale man sat next to Burke. The scale man almost didn't get to leave to go to the States. Right? And you just wonder how people like David Patterson could go to these forums and sit down in front of people and talk like there's no issue. Pissing David Patterson. You going to represent the opposition as a member of parliament, and that's your behavior on the road. Pissing on people's gate and cussing them down after and all kind of madness. And you want to represent people with the scales, Ricky, with the scales, Pato, with the people them scales. I know it must be hard, you can't wear the bracelet as you like no more, because people can see you and they can know the bracelet thing is true. And I got to find out if you give back the money to the Harbour Bridge that you used to go and take trip and all kind of nonsense. These are the people going overseas to play that they're the pillars of righteousness. A minister who used to take $2 million every time she going on an outreach. Those are the persons who are going to represent and play. They got the interests of people at heart, Guyanese people. Listen, I don't know what role a man's playing in the last government. I only recognize you recently, since she became an MP. Right? I think somebody said Ganesh Mahipal was regional information officer for Region 3. But these persons have no track record of putting forward some kind of planned policy that impact any kind of Guyanese in any way. Well, except for Amanzo. She had a plan that impact a certain Guyanese, probably in the face or something. You understand? But they have no track record of that. Y'all notice in their arguments anywhere at any time, there is never a time where they say, hey, look at what we did here. Y'all can't compare anything you've done to that. Look at what we've built here. Look what we do for the students. Look what we do for the police or nurses or something. Right? They couldn't even get a COVID hospital right. That's how sad it was sad. And you're right, Pam. Thank you, Pam. The only plan that we got from the opposition, especially Amanza, was the plan for Christina. And even Christina could use the plan because the maths wasn't working out. If Christina had used that plan, Christina and her child couldn't get to school every day because Amanza calculations are off. And this is an attorney at law. So you can imagine if you hire she to represent you in court, how you look into it. This is an attorney at law. Like Darren Wade is an attorney. Darren Wade is an attorney at law, people. Y'all realize that? Y'all realize Darren Wade, Amanza. These people went to Hugh Wooding and study and pass. Me know as a pass by, me know kind of help that in passing, all kind of thing. But these are lawyers. These are lawyers. These are some of the people who is telling us as Guyanese some of the most outlandish foolishness that we could ever find. Right? But anyway, it is what it is, and I know for sure that Guyanese in the diaspora and locally will not be fooled by certain nonsense coming out of the opposition, especially those in the diaspora. Well, they might have some. And again, I maintain it's a certain bunch. If you look at the age range of these persons, you understand? These is people who come up and the Bornum and them kind of thing. And mind you, a point somebody was making, some people like Paul and those overseas now are the persons who run from here when they had under Bornum, you know. Some of these people are some of them who run from here under Bornum when they had ban on rice, not rice, flour, and all sorts of ban on this and ban on that and ban on this and ban on that. A lot of them at these same conferences here are persons who run in those periods. Now over there playing the talking about what's happening in Guyana now and that stuff. So I wanted to highlight that. A lot of them. So Paul, have a good weekend, brother. You be safe. Lance, they run like cheetah. Paul, have a good weekend. I hope you got your steaks set for this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Nice ribeye or a T-bone, or if you could bring in some Wagyu, wherever it is. I hope you have a great weekend. We still celebrating Guyana Amazon Warriors, CPL champions. We don't care who vex lose. I saw a video where a guy was saying they had an article which highlighted it was a Guyanese who wrote the Trinidadian national anthem, and he is claiming that the guy was born in Guyana, but both of his parents are Trinidadian. Brother, what's your point? That don't make you Guyanese? Whether your parents is Trinidadian or not, he's born in he's Guyanese. He's Guyanese. No matter what age he left and go to Trinidad to live, he born in Guyana. We wrote your national anthem. A Guyanese who came out of a womb in Guyana, South America, write our national anthem. When you go to Trinidad at 6 or whatever it is, his birth certificate is a Guyanese document, right? His birth certificate is a Guyanese document. That Guyanese brain started to force function in Guyana. So, thank you, Guyanese, for being wonderful people. We're happy that we could have supplied Trinidad with a national anthem. And all that Trini hate, y'all can hold that over there. We are one people with one nation, one destiny. You understand? And anybody coming to violate or come wrongly funny, we can band together, despite all the division that is being pushed in certain quarters, right? We saw Guyanese come together to support Amazon Warriors to that win. Got Trini talking about sell out and pay out and all sorts of nonsense. Drink some water and mind your business over there in Twin Island Republic. I saw a video to lady say Guyana showing off because we got aisle now. Trinidad got aisle too. That stuff running out, sister. It is known. Like they used to say in Game of Thrones. It is known. The aisle running out. The aisle running out. It's running out. You see a lot of them Trinidadians companies running here now and trying to do a thing. Right? I think Guyana need to start implementing visa entry. Y'all apply for visa to come, man. Apply for visa to come. Apply for visa to come. Because like things a little too nice and y'all showing off yourself. No, Guyanese are a little too nice and too welcoming. So y'all getting a little giddy and talking stupidness. But that's another suggestion to the immigration department or Home Affairs. We should probably introduce a visa requirement to come to Guyana. Because just like the Americans, we want, well, yeah, oh, right. Thanks, Lance. The CARICOM policy won't allow for that. Free travel. CARICOM states. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Anyway, guys, I went a little over the time today. We didn't have a show yesterday. It was really wonderful being here with you. Thanks to all the persons tuning in on the live, whether you are coming from any of the 10 administrative regions or further afield, CARICOM, diaspora. Thank you guys for being here. I'd like to encourage you guys to have a safe weekend. Go out there, enjoy yourself, but responsibly. If you're going to drink, please designate a driver. Also, the Dream Team, they'll be starting their toy drive for Christmas. If you're interested in that or donating towards that, you can WhatsApp me or call me on the numbers on the screen. We're planning to distribute toys in Diamond Grove, Sapphire, Lillian Dal, and a few other locations around the city, and also hopefully in 𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒆 as well, where some of the Dream Team members are active. So if you're interested in being a part of our toy drive, you have some old toys that your kids mightn't play with anymore. Even if you have some old clothes that you're not in good condition, that could be passed on to somebody, we're asking you to let us know so we can make those things available to the less fortunate. We'll be having some barrels at strategic locations so that persons can either drop off their toys or their clothes that they want to donate to the drive easier, rather than having to meet up and come here and there, right? So they'll be at different locations on Regent Street and strategically placed in the city so that persons can make their donations there, right? That's it for me today. Again, thank you guys for being here, and be safe on the weekend. Have fun, but be safe. A special good morning to the persons tuning in for the first time. Remember, it's all about love and one Guyana. Take care. Until Monday.
Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, hey, Guyana is